riding on some grown man knees. We step into some grown man knees. Conversation on some grown man knees. Put your hands up on some grown man knees. We puffing on some grown man knees. We sipping on some grown man knees. We vibing on some grown man knees. We loving on some grown man knees. I know, you know, that you're down with me.
We in the building. Beautiful people. We are here on another Tuesday night. Check your watches. It must be 9 p.m., which means it's time for Grown Man Conversations, the visual podcast live from EQ Studios is where it goes down. And we got a dope show for you tonight. Now, if you're looking at us, you already see, fellas, how it's going to be. You already see the numbers. So you know what this is about. It's already 2-on-1.
Right.
And they got the wine flowing.
Yes.
So you know that's only going to enhance it.
Look, Ricky Lewis already said Port. What's up, Port?
So tonight, Port City. Boy, I was in the Port on Sunday, Rick. I got to holler at you and let you know. They called me at my old church to come home to homecoming service and sing a solo. Boy, I got to tell you about that, Port. But before we do all of that, because that's not what the show is about tonight.
Right.
The show is about this. Who am I? And who is she? And what is this?
What is this?
I am one half, if you're good at math. That's 50% of the co-hosting team for Grown Man Conversations. And I go by the name of Tone X, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of Tone X, ladies and gentlemen. And would you like to introduce yourself?
I would. I am the other half of this co-hosting team, and I go by the name of Y Squared, Chocolate Deluxe, Ava Black, Yo-Yo, Yogi, Albany, Yolanda.
Can we just get one?
All of them.
Can we just get one so the people won't be confused?
What's up, Gregory Jackson? Thank you for joining.
Did y'all hear my applause? Make sure y'all heard my applause.
Did you hear it? Do it again.
I'll make sure I heard it. Y'all heard my applause? Clap for the people.
No, applause
Well,
button.
yeah, it's going. But it's going.
But I mean, you know you can hear it through the through the headphones or something.
Yeah.
Do it again. No, it ain't going.
It's going. It's going.
Right.
Thank you so much.
But it's not. It's
Okay.
something is a plug. It might be
Thank
going on
you.
your screen.
Thank you
but
so
it ain't
much
going to the public.
for helping us
But that's
out.
okay as long as they can hear
Did
us.
y'all hear the applause?
That's all we care about.
Yeah, Rick. Did y'all hear the applause?
No.
All right, well, baby, ain't nobody answered yet.
Oh.
Give 'em
Did
a
y'all
chance.
hear the applause?
Give them a chance to answer. You ask the question, I answer. Y'all hear the applause? No.
Okay.
I've introduced myself. She's introduced herself.
Yeah.
And that means there's only one person left. And since I am a gentleman, I'm a classic man. So that means I am going to let Y Square have the honor of introducing our special guest for the evening.
Yes. Well, this lovely lady that you all see sitting in the studio who has this amazing afro.
Jill Scott.
Yes, Jill Scott, baby. She got Jill Scott vibes all day. This is Dr. Lisa Folden. Yep, the applause. We're going to do it for ourselves. And she is also not only the market director for the No Women magazine, which we're going to be talking about this evening, but she is also a physical therapist and body image coach for a company. The name of her company is called Healthy Fit. Yes.
Get it
So
right.
welcome Lisa to the show, you all. Welcome Lisa to the show. Thank you for joining. Thank you
for having me.
Awesome. We're glad you're here. So let's get right into it. What is a body image coach?
So it's essentially someone who helps people make peace with their bodies and improve their overall body image. So I, like many women, struggled with my weight, with my body, and wanted to look a certain way my whole life, really. And so as I got through the childbearing years of my life and started to, begin to be more content in my own skin, it became a goal of mine to help other women specifically. There are men, obviously, with body image issues, but mostly women. Just to start to understand that we have some control over our bodies, but not full control over our bodies. We have genetics, we have conditions and things that go on. So what I do is I coach people to feel better about themselves, to love the skin they're in, to treat their bodies well, take good care of it, dress it well.
Exactly.
And just be more in love with who they are. So
Nice.
Right. Ricky says welcome. Thank you, Ricky, for welcoming her to the show.
thank you.
And for tuning in.
Ricky, you said welcome to the show, but you ain't said if you heard no applause yet.
Yeah, they have it. They don't hear the applause, baby. I picked up the earphones, and I don't hear it when you did it, and I can hear our voices. So, you know how the box does. It's something that we'll fix it, because we can do our own applause then tonight.
Okay.
But, so you was talking about, is that for men and women, or is it mainly just women that you deal with? But
It is, yeah. But primarily it's women. Those are the people who obviously relate to me and come to me. But I have had a few men reach out, and we've had discussions. I have not formally coached a man on body image, but yeah, but they definitely, it's an issue across the board, because we live in a very fat phobic world.
Right.
Fat phobic.
Fat phobic world.
Right.
So it affects everyone, but women, I just think we're a little bit more susceptible to it. So.
Right, exactly. So what are some of the things, like what are some of the, I know for me, and people will say, you know, when you're a slim chick, you don't have anything to worry about. But I deal with body issues myself.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you're, you know, thick, considered thick or slim. Do you see that across the board with the clients that you deal with?
100%. The only distinction I like to make is that if you're not existing in a large body, you're not going to experience the type of discrimination that those people do, because our world is not set up for larger people to exist. I mean, think about airplane seats, think about little coffee shops with the bistro chairs, you know what I mean? So you don't experience it on a scale where you're being discriminated against, but 100% people in all size bodies, all shaped bodies have body image issues. I have had many women who are thinner and want to be a little bit more voluptuous or thick, and so we kind of work through, again, recognizing, there are some things you can do, but really your genetics are your genetics. Now, you can go get surgery if that is your choice. I don't, suggest it, but if that is your choice, you can go get surgery and craft the body that you want, but the reality is if you're not willing to go to that extreme, you get what you get as far as your genetics go. So what you can do is, strengthen, tone, make sure your cardiovascular endurance is there, but you're not going to drastically change your body, from one very thin or narrow shape to something more voluptuous.
Right.
So helping people make peace with that. And yes, definitely thinner people, I've had to coach them as well on the same time. So.
And that's funny that you say here in this country it's set up not for larger scale people. Then that means that there's a disconnect. Because if your country is not set up for larger scale people, that means the majority of the people should be traditional or small size.
Yeah, you would think so, right? But that's not
Well,
the
then
case.
why is the United States
The large.
why is the United States leading the country in obesity?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, so a few things.
Ken Shay.
What's up, Ken Shay?
So, obesity, that's a whole nother topic. We could have a whole nother podcast on it. But, yeah, the average size woman, I think, in this country is about a size 16. So, I have no idea why the world is set up so that average size person and anyone who is above the average is basically not welcomed. Like I said, the seats on an airplane, everywhere you go, things are just narrow and small, and it's harder. And what it says to people in large bodies is you're not welcome here. The issue, there's a lot of roots to this. I teach on this, I train on this, I spend time with medical students and physical therapy students talking about weight bias and healthcare and in the world. So there's a lot of history to it. I highly recommend the book Fearing the Black Body by Sabrina Strings, because it's rooted in racism.
What's the name of the book again?
Fearing the Black Body.
Okay.
Yep, it's by Sabrina Strings, and it talks about the racist origins of fat phobia and weight stigma. But just a quick overview, essentially the world is set up to have a large amount of people feel less than so that they can invest into our billion-dollar diet industry. So the idea is this industry continues to grow because we continue to tell people there's something wrong with you. We don't need to change what we're doing. You need to figure out what you're doing and change and get thinner. So this, our whole country and beyond our country, the world, we're focused on trying to get smaller. That's the goal. And I understand because we related to health, right? You feel like if you're in a large body, maybe you're less healthy.
But that's
That's not
obviously
true.
a myth.
It's a myth. It's 100% a myth. There are some people, and I tell this to people every time I do a talk. I'm like, some people are going to be fat, and people are like, it's like, but really, genetically and lifestyle choice, people are going to be bigger, and there's nothing wrong with them. They might have completely normal blood pressure, no issues with their cholesterol, no diabetes, nothing physically wrong with their medical health. But this world tells them if you're not in a good body, you're probably unhealthy.
It's so funny that you say that. What's up, OGD Lee? What's up, family?
OGD Lee. A lot of people. Oh, go ahead, boo.
Yeah, I was saying it's funny that you say that because a lot of times in the health industry, or if you are, that's the main thing. If you're bigger, then you're considered to not be healthy.
100%.
And it's, even though I've known it, because I know a lot of women that are thick and that are healthy too, but I think it's a mind shift, and that really resonated with me because we are in a world. If you see someone and you think, oh, go get on, or go work out, or go do this, and maybe they do work out. And like you said, so and so that's really genetics then, I guess, if you can't lose the weight.
You look at some of the different sizes of people, and then a lot of people don't understand skeletal sizes.
That part.
Like, what is it like? It's different, like endoskeleton and all. But you have a certain size skeleton. It's like a frame, just like what she said.
100%.
Okay? A Cadillac is bigger than a Ford Focus.
Right.
Because of the frame that it's sitting on. So you have to build out the car to make it look good, symmetry, based off the frame.
Right.
100%.
A lot of us don't understand framework. Like, God gave you a framework, and it's only supposed to carry so much weight. And everybody is not going to look textbook slim and trim. Everybody's not going to, the optics are not going to make you say, oh, I know they're healthy. I can tell they work out. I can tell. And like she said, just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. And just because you are bigger than the traditional size doesn't make you slim. I remember reading a couple of years ago, I was on the radio, I would say they had the average size of the black woman in the United States was a 14. You see, a 14. Now, here's the thing. In this country, they will make you feel like a 14 is like Dumbo. Okay, that's an elephant size. But no, it's not even that. It's proportion. You can see a 14 and be like, she ain't no 14. Or you can see a 14 and be like, she ain't no 14. So it's all about proportion. And again, the skeleton they're sitting on. And the last point I'm making, and I'm going back in my corner, is about the men. Oh, it should be a high percentage of men, if they're truthful, coming to talk to you. Because I might get your information. Okay? Because I was looking at myself last night, and I told Yolanda I look like a little love seat. I said, all I need is a sectional sitting by my leg, and I look like a living room set. Because I can tell you, I can pinpoint what happened. Miss B. Thompson made me a homemade red velvet cake for my birthday. My man, Enough Said's mom made that classic sweet potato pie for my birthday. And I would find myself 1 o'clock in the morning watching a movie and saying, hey, let me go on by the kitchen. And every time I go by the kitchen, I grab either a slice of this pie, a little sliver of cake, and then it's late. And it's not like you're giving yourself the amount of time to let it digest. So you just lay on it. And now, this is where you're at, ladies and gentlemen. You're around the house telling your wife, I'm getting ready to wear black for a month. I'm gonna look like I'm going to 30 funerals for the next month. And now you got to work on getting it off, because until something gets to the point where it gets on your nerves, you'll compromise and you'll find a way to be comfortable with it. That's why we see some people and we're like, they can't be comfortable about how they look, or they can't be feeling good. But it hadn't got to the point where it's a problem, so they deal with it.
And they may be comfortable with it, and it may be a case of, and this is what the research says, especially when we're talking about someone who struggles with their weight and has had issues and, is concerned and, done a diet and another diet. The problem is the way our diet industry is set up, and even part of our medical world, if you don't have anti-diet or weight neutral focused physicians and healthcare practitioners, they'll pull you right into it too, and it's out of concern for your health, but also it's not healthy. The only thing that diets have the highest correlation to is the development of eating disorders and gaining more weight. That is literally it. That's 97% of diets fail.
I wish our buttons was
Like literally, that's it. 97%. So if 100 people go on a diet, any diet, pick one, your favorite, your least favorite, whatever. 3% of them will lose the weight significantly and keep it off beyond 1 to 3 years. What the vast majority of us do, 97% of us do, we go on a diet. It can be a really healthy one, real, not super extreme. We'll go on a diet, we'll lose weight. We try to keep up the habits, and then at some point we either get tired or our body plateaus and we're not seeing the changes because we think we need to be smaller, and we end up gaining the weight we lost back plus more.
some more.
And this is the kicker. That repeat, that's the diet cycle. So you get on a diet, you lose a little weight, you gain it back, gain some extra, go back on the diet, do it all over again. That diet cycle increases your risk of dying from cardiovascular issues by like double. So it stresses your heart. So every time we try to undereat and over-exercise in order to try to get smaller because we think we're supposed to be smaller, we end up actually hurting our body. So the things that they say, people in large bodies are causing on their own, it's really in many cases the diets, and there's tons of research out there. It's not super 100%. It's not super mainstream because again, the diet industry rules us here, but it is easily accessible. If you just Google it, there's tons of research, and it's high level quality research. It's not somebody's opinion piece in an article. It's like randomized controlled trials where they look at people. Look at the Biggest Loser study.
Oh, yeah.
Like, check it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary. And then that's the other thing the diets do. The reason that we gain more weight, when we go on diets, when we start to undereat and overexercise, we lower our resting metabolism. So now it takes more work to burn calories. So it literally pushes you back extra notches. So a lot of my work is helping people understand, yes, we deal with struggles with our body. That's a separate issue. We have some exercises and tools for that. But really understanding what health looks like for you. And here's the reality. Health might not look like a super flat stomach for you. Right. Health might not look like a six-pack for you. Health, for most of us, don't look like a thigh gap.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's individual. It's what it is for you. And you have to start to understand what that is and stop looking at, what is she eating? I like her body type. What workouts is she doing? Because that doesn't matter. We are all genetically different. So what I do to make my body look a certain way is not going to be the same thing for you, and vice versa. So it's really about getting on an individual plan to understand how to care for yourself and stop pretending like our physical body is it, because that's the biggest issue. We'll stress ourselves out, count calories, weighing foods, can't sleep at night because we're so worried about gaining weight or getting bigger when we haven't addressed our mental health.
I was going to say.
We haven't addressed our emotional health. Why do we pretend like we're only bodies?
I was going to say, it sounds like you pull back layers when you're talking with your clients, because it does start with a lot of times more something deeply rooted than just the fact that I feel I'm a little overweight or I don't like the way I look in the mirror. A lot of times they don't like the way they're feeling inside, which has hindered them from being able to make the changes that they need to implement with their life to feel better about their bodies.
The inside is the part that they need to focus on, because the inside is the motivating force to the outside. Positive energy flows from the inside outward. That's why they say if you don't love yourself, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to love someone else. And the reason why a lot of people look into the mirror and don't like what they see physically is because they're not in touch, in tune, and they don't like who they are or what they see internally,
100%.
Which is emotional, mental, but spiritual, and it all goes into the body. I think if more people truly understood the direct connection between what you put in your mouth and the results, then a lot of people would change how they eat. And the thing I used to say on the radio, I used to say a diet, the first syllable is die. Because a diet shows you how to take off weight, but it doesn't teach you how to maintain it. So you lost the 30 pounds to get into the wedding dress. But then I saw you 3 months later in the Walmart, and you bigger than when you started the diet. So I always say, and you using that approach, which is beautiful. It's a mental
Yeah.
reset because everything starts from here. And if you don't like what you see, you have to go here. If you're worried about what somebody else is eating, you have to go here.
Yeah.
And until you start looking at yourself and loving what you see, no matter the size,
Right.
no matter the size, then you're going to be in that same rut.
Always.
OGD Gleason, he says, I love my keg. It was work building it.
Boy, listen,
Still
I hear a
feel
lot.
like your stomach.
Yeah, I hear a lot of grown men saying that.
Listen.
And then Ricky
because-
Lewis, which is amazing, he says everything begins with the mental.
It does.
You're right,
It does.
Ricky. And it's probably harder for men, I would think, more so than maybe women.
Oh, because they're not going to be vulnerable about it and actually
Mm-hmm.
talk. That's the real thing because they're holding it in. So
And a woman, and not to take away from a man because I'm sure a man could help, but and another
Told
thing
y'all
that
I
I
was
found
gonna
was
get it.
fascinating. No, look,
Didn't I tell you?
I know, but
Y'all.
look, this is another thing I found. Is there a lot of people in your industry? Because you were the first person that I've seen that was a image body coach that when you talk about what you do and you summed it up, pretty much I help people live a stress-free life or live a life without worrying or stressing about their weight.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
do you do how do you do that? Because a person, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
convinced against their will is of the same opinion still is what I
Right.
always my daddy used to
There you
always
go.
say. So I can tell you something, but how am I really going to convince you not to worry and stress about this when you're away from me?
It's a lot of education and it's a lot of unlearning because we've been fed these thoughts since we were little.
True.
The second we see somebody with a tummy, it's like, oh, don't get too. I mean, kids, the stories I hear from people who are struggling with their body image, some of the worst messaging came from the people they love the most. They mamas, they dads, they grandmas.
Yeah.
And they do this out of thinking, this is my concern for you. I'll make sure you stay healthy. Meanwhile, grandma might be thin, but she's smoking 2 packs of
86
cigarettes a day and drinking all night. So
Right,
it's not
yeah.
even.
Oh, my
It's
God.
like, you want me to be healthy? Okay.
Right.
So, but it's again, it goes back to fat phobia. We fear fatness. We think there's something wrong. We think that everybody's body is simply based on their choices. I know people personally in my own life, people I've connected with, through social media, who live in large bodies. I'm not talking just size 16s. I'm talking 18s and 20s and 22s. And they work out every day. They drink gallons of water a day. They can outrun me. They're not unhealthy people. They just live in large bodies. And then there are people who live in large bodies who aren't healthy. The same way there are people who live in thin bodies who are
Right,
not healthy.
right.
Here's the key. You don't know that.
Right.
None of y'all know if somebody
Right.
is healthy by looking at them.
Right.
And that's the message I try to get out to people. That's a part of the unlearning and the educating is no one can I cannot look at any singular person and say, he is healthy, she is unhealthy. I have no idea.
Oh, go ahead, OGD. I have cut my weight from 260 to 229 in 4 months just by eating healthy.
Healthier.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it takes. For men, you need to, if a man see results, then you're more prone to stay with it. It's like a relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
If you find a female that take care of you and cater to you a little bit, make you feel good about yourself, you're more apt
I'm
to
glad he's saying
stay.
more apt.
You're more apt to stay with her
Okay.
than the alternative because it shows that you are making improvements, and all you need to see is a gradual improvement. It takes 3 weeks to form a habit. If you can stick with it for 3 weeks, and that's anything, and that's good or bad too.
Yeah.
You just have to know your habits. If you can stick with it for 3 weeks, it's built in. So I was telling Yolanda, I was like, yeah, over the weekend. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, Monday, we're going to start. It's like the playoffs with me, like regular season, but the playoffs come. You flip the switch. It's the playoffs now. So we're going to start and get our discipline back on point. And we're going to get back into the walking, into the miles, into the gym, into the eating. And I do intermittent fasting anyway because I basically stay on a Ramadan eating schedule. And so I don't do a lot during the day. I mostly do my bulk load when the sun go down, and that's probably once. And then later on, it's probably some fruit and drink a lot of water. But that works for me. You know what I mean? That way. And I don't see that as extreme or anything like that because it works for me. To somebody else, it might be. But I think until we understand that, number one, this country is not concerned about your health.
No.
The westernized medical approach is not to heal you, people. I don't care how nice your doctor is. I don't care how nice the nurse is. None of those doctors, and especially if we're talking about the dominant society, they are not in it to make you healthier. They are in it for the bag. HMOs have taken over the hospital. It's the pharmaceutical companies that run the hospital, not the doctors.
Right.
So you're living in a country that's not promoting health. If they were, they wouldn't keep bombarding you with commercials that show you how much stuff you can get for $1 or how much stuff you can get for $2. And our mentality wouldn't be, man, I ain't going into Whole Foods. You spend $200 in Whole Foods for about 10 items. I'm just going over here and keep doing what I'm doing. And they say, well, eating healthier is expensive. And I always say, okay, well, would you like to pay for it now or pay for it later? Because it's going to be more expensive later when you're sitting up there and they're running all them tests. Or they're telling you the information you don't want to hear, and you could have went to the good doctor and got yourself together because she could have had you feeling good about yourself, whether you're 60, 160, or 260. But this world
when you know
don't care.
better, you do better.
Yeah. Well, when you know better, ideally you do better, but it's also about access. You talked about, Whole Foods. Some people can't afford it.
And can't
Food
buy it.
deserts. We stay in
We
food
live
deserts.
there are food deserts all around, and our medical system is a sick care system. It is not a health care system. So 100%, it is fueled by you having more conditions, or you maybe not quite having the conditions, but giving you a medication that we can charge for.
Cause you to have the
We'll
condition
find
to
it.
help prevent it is what they'll
Right.
say. So yes, our system is not set up to get you healthy or keep you healthy. The idea is that you will get sick and then you will need to pull from the system. And it's less about the doctors and more about the health insurance companies, because they literally control all of our interventions and they control, all of the money. And so from a provider standpoint, when I, bill insurance and I submit a bill for $500 and they give you $62 for what you did.
Wow.
But the patient's paying these high premiums, these high co-pays. So the patients don't win, the medical providers don't win. It's really the insurance companies that win. So I always encourage going to holistic doctors. I have a naturopathic doctor who's a friend of mine. She's actually in the notebook to share with us. And then I just like to work with practitioners, sometimes who are just out of network and cash-based.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get more individualized one-on-one care.
Yeah.
And the insurance companies won't be dictating it. And in many cases, it's cheaper than your deductible for the year. So I prefer to do my business that way as much as I can. I am in network with a few insurance companies, but for things like health and wellness coaching, they don't cover that. That you got to pay out of pocket anyway. No, that's not. Again, that will be health care, not sick care. So
Right. But they just try to give you where you can get along.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean? Go along
To get
along is what happened. I used to talk about holistic doctors all the time, and people didn't get a grip.
Yeah.
Because we're so bombarded with what we think is the way that medicine works, and that's not the way that medicine works. It was a reason why your grandmama used to go out in the backyard, and she'd tell you, go to that tree and pull this, or go pull that out of the ground, and then you see her put it in a pot. Then she'd be like, drink this, and then you feel better than you felt in 3 days, and like a couple of hours. Everything to heal you comes out of the ground, ladies and gentlemen. That's why in the Amazon in South America, when they're down there trying to destroy the rainforest, they say every, not some, not a few, not every disease known to man, the healing for it is in the rainforest. And they ain't talking about because of the water or the heat. They talking about what's growing out of that ground. And that's why they're so big on not pushing it down. But that's why those companies, they don't care about that phase.
Well, it's about monetizing it. It's,
It's money.
Yeah, they have to figure
Just
out
like
how
me.
to monetize it.
It's like eating healthy now. It's a money market thing now. So
Right.
they're like, oh, yeah, we got something for you. We got plant-based peppermint sticks.
Right.
Okay.
Organic this,
Right,
organic.
right,
And
right.
that's another thing. I spend a lot of time with my clients because it is discouraging when you feel like your budget can't support you eating whole foods and organic and this. And I have to remind people, like, listen, if financially you can do it, that's a great goal. But the reality is you can have a healthy, sustainable diet on an Aldi budget. Okay?
Right.
Let me tell you something.
You
about
can
Exactly.
all these actually step they
Yeah,
can.
all these ain't playing, all
They
right?
got really good
All
examples.
right, I got me some.
Exactly.
I went and got me some fresh vegetables
They
and
have
a lawn
stepped
chair.
it up. They have stepped it up for sure. But whatever grocery store you have access to, you can find. I mean, carrots are carrots. Now, yes, is the organic ones that you believe are grown?
Well, you don't know what they're doing.
Maybe,
man.
maybe not. But carrots are carrots. You know, so you can still, you know, lead a healthy, sustainable lifestyle without spending all your money. And a part of tearing down toxic diet culture is tearing down that elitist mentality that says, you know, how dare you? You're eating that trash. You go to McDonald's and I eat. And it's like, listen, pump the brakes.
You probably eating some of
Like,
the same trash.
Some of the same
Same
trash.
trash.
And every time something is plant-based or, you know, the
It don't
impossible
really
meat,
mean
it's
it's-
like,
yeah.
there's a whole lot of chemicals on the back of that label, you know.
Right.
So it's really taking out that air of judgment, you know. So it's my space when I work with my clients, it's a very judgment-free space. I am not yelling at you for having McDonald's. It is convenient food. There are single mothers rushing to get their kids to school, to their practices, to work. You gonna grab McDonald's sometimes. I don't care. I'm not here to chastise you about your food choices. I'm here to help you think more broadly about how you can add more health and nutrition into your life versus telling you don't touch that.
Right.
I would never say, you got a cake for your birthday? That is beautiful. Eat that cake.
I did.
Like, enjoy it. Because the first time you say, oh, I can't have that. Restriction breeds binging.
Say that again.
Restriction breeds binging. Period. The
And that's
first
probably
time,
on anything,
on
not just food, but
everything, yes.
anything.
With anything, Yolanda.
Right.
Restriction breeds
breeds
binging.
binging.
You see how I grab you when you be trying to wait? You be trying to make me wait out, but then when I finally grab you, you be like, God dang.
You gonna
Binging.
binge
You
it.
might as well went ahead and, okay,
gave it up before.
I had a regular schedule of meals for this health kick, but you like,
Oh my God.
yeah, you can't eat for 30 days. I was like, all right. And then when you go in the refrigerator, you go on the couch like, well, I would have tore everything up in the
Everything.
refrigerator.
100%. So it's more important to enjoy the foods you like, and I believe very much in intuitive eating, and that's a book also. It's by Evelyn Tribally and Elise Resch. It's called Intuitive Eating, and it's not a diet by any means. When I started it, I gained weight, so you can imagine the stress with that when you come from this mentality of, oh no, I'm getting bigger, something's wrong with me. But it's really about understanding that our bodies, when we have cravings, there's like a physiological reason for it, and it's important and a great idea to feed those cravings. Now that don't mean you go eat the whole cake in one setting. I came with him.
So is that okay? So that it's okay to have the craving.
It's okay to have a craving because what we do is when we say, "Oh no, I'm not. No cake, no cookies." I used to be this way, y'all. My daughter, she's 11 now. She's okay with me sharing this, but I was a very strict, like, health nut. My pantry was like protein bars, like no candy, no sweets, no chips. My baby was going to school sad every day, and she started taking snacks from other kids. Because I never gave her cookies, potato chip. I just didn't give her
You
that.
are Debbie Downer.
I was horrible. Right? But I had to learn through that experience. Like, first of all, I'm messing up her relationship with food, which I don't want to do because I went through that.
Right.
And then two, I'm making her want to binge on other people's stuff because she's like, look, they look like they enjoying these Doritos, and my mama won't buy me these.
Yeah.
So I had to learn habituation is basically when you have something at your disposal, it's no longer a big deal. When you keep it away and say you cannot touch this, you're going to think about it day and night.
All the time.
But if it's in your pantry and you can have one when you want, it is so beautiful to be an intuitive eater. I have Oreos. My husband keeps Oreos in the house. First of all, I don't even like them the way I thought I did. I used to binge on them because I wanted them all the time.
Because you thought yeah.
But I don't even like them that much. But they're in my pantry, and I can go days, weeks without touching one.
Yeah.
I'll go in there like, dang, I ate all the Oreos. Well, I guess they were here 2 weeks, so that makes sense. I got family of 5. But because I am intuitive with my eating now, I eat based on my hunger signals, my fullness signals, what I'm craving in the moment, and I'm mindful, like, oh yeah, I want to make sure I get some good fruits and some vegetables, but I'm never like, oh, can't do that, won't do that, only this, I can only have this on the weekend. I don't live my life that way anymore because it messed me up. And I was going to comment on intermittent fasting. I believe in body autonomy, so whatever you think is best for you is best for you. I don't get to decide that. I don't encourage intermittent fasting simply because I don't believe that at any point if you're hungry, you should not eat. And a lot of people, when they're intermittent fasting, until they get to a point where they just stop being hungry, but it's really losing connection with our bodies, most people are fighting it like, oh, I'm hungry, but I can't eat until 12. That's a bad habit for me because that detaches you from knowing when your body wants something, when it's full. You know, that's what I used to do. I used to be strict all week, and then on the weekends eat a whole pizza because I was like, this is my cheat day. And I didn't even want a whole pizza. My body didn't want that.
You just was
you know
going,
what I'm saying? But because I wouldn't let myself have it any other time, I would just go crazy and binge. So I lost that connection between my mind and my gut that was telling me like, okay, girl, that was good. We're good. 2 slices and I feel great, you know? I can go eat a pizza now and be like, that was just okay. I only had 1 slice. Let me go get a banana.
Yeah.
Like, where they do that at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can go out now and be like, I'm not going to finish this plate. And we're about to go somewhere else, so I can't take leftovers. No big deal. Who cares?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or box it up, I'll take it home. That I didn't used to operate that way because I was so stuck in the diet cycle that it was like a feast or famine all the time. It was like, well, we going out to eat. I'm about to have this and that and this. And then I'm stuffed and feeling horrible. Then I feel bad about myself. And then I'm like, you know what? Next week I'm about to go hard.
See?
It's like, oh my God, I did it like 1,000,000 times in my life. So I'm not judging anybody that does that. I've been there, done it, I get it. But it's just, there's a better way.
What's up, Trey Perry? Thank you.
Trey Perry, what up? It's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Peace, Antoine. Peace.
What's up, Antoine?
It is a big lifestyle change. Eat to get satisfied,
And
not full.
100%.
You know what I'm saying, Port City? That's the motto.
And I'm so glad you said that because with you even giving that analogy or of stuff, I realized that's how I eat, but I wasn't thinking in that alignment. Like, I have cravings sometimes, and I will eat what I want to eat.
What you want.
But I'm very cognizant and conscious on what I'm eating and how much of it I'm eating. I'm also conscious about getting up and doing whatever physical activities and nourishing my body the way I feel what I feel it's asking me for to maintain whatever weight that I feel comfortable with and that I'm happy and I'm satisfied with.
100%. Yep.
So,
and it needs to be that way, individual. Like, you ain't supposed to do what I do. You ain't supposed to do what he do.
I'm so glad you said that, Dr. Lisa.
But it's not like that because you tell me all the time, this is what you do. You always let me know that your method is a method to your madness, and ours is different.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is this. If somebody was in a race and they said, I'm going to win the race, and I said, well, I'm just trying to finish it.
Yeah.
So I come across the finish line, you be like, man, I won in a day. And I say, well, it took me 4 days.
Yep.
But I finished.
That's right.
So our goals are the same. Because we both won. You won because you came in first. I won just because I finished, and that was enough for me. Yolanda will say, sometimes you get so disciplined with your approach. That's not for me. And I say, well, no, it's not for you. But I'll tell you this. The thing about when I said intermittent fasting, and when the dominant society came up with a catchy name,
right.
and everybody was like, oh, intermittent fasting.
Yeah, they'll use anything as a diet to sell. 100%.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Fasting has been prescribed for all of you Bible Belt Christians
Right.
since Jesus. And I know when y'all hear Jesus, you really pay attention. It's been you tune in there. It's been prescribed since then. A lot of the churches around Lent season, what y'all do?
Yeah.
Y'all adapt mannerisms from another denomination and put it in yours and say, okay, so for 40 days of Lent, we're going to give away something that mine is going to be bread. Mine is going to be sweets.
Alcohol.
I'm not going to do alcohol. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
A Muslim celebrates Ramadan once a year. It's 30 days. You do not eat anything or drink anything by mouth from sundown, sun up to sundown. I've been doing that for 20 some years.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you start doing that and you come off Ramadan, it's one of two things. It's a joke. They say all the Muslims get small during Ramadan, and then after Ramadan they blow back up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is natural.
Right.
Yeah.
But my thing is, well, if I'm doing this and it's 30 days, it's not hurting me now because now it is a lifestyle. It's mental. So my body like, well, we don't really need to eat nothing. Instead of eating something, Tone, why don't you go juice? Go get you some spinach and an orange and some blueberries and juice that, and then drink it like a liquid. You're still getting the nutrients, but you don't have to eat. And we'll do fine with that until you're ready to eat. And Yolanda tell you, I got a window when the sun go down, and if I don't eat in this little 1 hour, 1.5 window, then my body be like, what? Like it'll be 10, 11 o'clock, and I'll be like, Yolanda, you know what? I haven't eaten today. And then I'm looking like, well, you staying up to 3 in the morning
Right.
to let it digest? Well, you must be getting ready to grab something quick. Well, let me grab a grapefruit and call it a night. So so it works because it works because it's
hardcore.
It works because it's a lifestyle though.
Well, yeah, but
And
that's
when
what
you start,
get.
and it works for, like you said,
it works
everything
for you.
is individual. When you start,
individual.
I'm a comedian, so I look at things totally different probably than y'all do. When I go in the grocery store, when I go into Publix, all food are women, and they trying to holler at me, and they know I got a crazy wife.
Oh, yeah, she crazy.
They know I got a crazy wife, but you still trying to holler. Well, let me tell you, let me break down the grocery store like a club fella, so you know where the danger at. All the thoughts is on the soft drink aisle, the processed food aisle. Any of them females in them bags, they just got BBLs. They look like all the other females you see on music videos. All the females at the NBA game, they ain't got no substance. You put your hand in that potato chip bag, it tastes good for a couple of chips. It tastes good for a couple of minutes. But when you close that bag up, she ain't got no conversation for you. She ain't did nothing to help you out for the long run. That's the thought aisle.
I do not approve
Okay?
this message.
That's the thought aisle. Okay? Let me tell you where the sexy women at.
Where the sexy women at?
Over there to the right.
And the produce.
In the produce. But them the women that don't nobody talk to. Ain't nobody talk to the cabbages.
They all glistening.
They sitting there, shea butter popping, natural hair. What? Some of them just looking at, talking to you. They nice. How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah.
We just be, ain't nobody got time for
Nobody
no
want
grapes.
no
Nobody want no damn spinach, mama. I came in here to get this beyond me.
Ground potatoes, beans,
But-
greens,
you
dogs,
name it.
hogs, you
What?
name it.
I came in here to get this pork chop mix. You ain't messing this up, okay? I'm coming here to get these Lunchables. What is you talking about, sir? And then I come in with my card, and I be like, how you doing, sis? And she be like, how you doing, brother? And I might even go over there to the rutabagas. I give them the greeting, because I know ain't nobody talking to y'all. Assalamu alaikum. They be like, assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, brother. I said, let me put a couple of y'all in here. I go over there to the ginger root. They don't talk to them because they think their hair look funny. They be like, y'all in here with them locks.
Right.
And we don't do our hair like that. I'll be like, let me get a couple of ginger root.
Yes.
And I'll go over there and get me some pistachio. Yeah, I'm nice to the ones them thoughts, they get everybody. I be looking in the carts and them lines, I be like, boy, these thoughts got
Boy,
a
them
talk.
grocery thoughts.
Boy, them grocery thoughts got a talk game, baby.
Let me retrace
I cannot.
message. She says, my struggle.
The struggle!
She said, my struggle, my weight is so yo-yo. She was like, it's up and down. She was like, I'm really working on my consistency. So what would you say? And I'm so glad you said that, Trey, because that's why Dr. Lisa is here. She is a body image coach, physical therapist. And so she is really here to help condition our minds no matter what size we are. We've learned a lot from her tonight, just Tone X and myself.
Listen.
What would you say to someone who says, I'm trying to be consistent, and they feel like that's the reason why their body is going up and down and yo-yo?
And that is the reason, and a lot of times that is sort of, I call diet. I know the word diet gets a bad rap because it really just means what you eat. But dieting, I call dieting any extreme or over exercising, any extreme calorie reduction. 1,200 calories a day, whatever. Cutting out, restricting foods, entire food groups outside of allergies or real issues. So the yo-yoing often comes from the dieting, the changing of the behaviors. So when I work with clients one-on-one, typically we scratch everything. So we start over from nothing. So I don't want to know your normal eating habits. I don't want to know your normal workout habits. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to talk through like your actual health. What's your blood pressure? What's your cholesterol?
A lot of people don't even know that.
What's your blood sugar? We're going to get labs. Like, we're going to figure it out. Because we need to know if there's actually health issues there. Because outside, again, the weight, the number is not what really matters. And you can send yourself into worse health trying to get to a number that's not even realistic for your body. So we start there. Once we establish if there's actual health concerns, we work on the body image part. So a lot of my clients, task number 1 is get in the mirror naked. Check yourself out. Front and back, side to side. 5 minutes there. Every day for like a week. Normalize it. What happens with women especially, we put on a little weight, we don't like what we see, we get off the pictures, and we stop standing in that mirror. So get comfortable with it. Normalize what your body is right now so you can learn to make peace with it. Understand this, your body's supposed to change. Your body is not supposed to be the same your entire life. You are not 18, boo. You know what I'm saying? You have had 3 children. Like, your body's supposed to change. That whole snapback culture, I hate it, I despise it, it's stupid, it's unhealthy.
Exactly.
You are not supposed to be the same. So get comfortable with the idea that your body's going to change and make peace with what it looks like now. And then we build on the health promoting behaviors. I don't take anything away. I only add stuff in. I don't care if you go to Chick-fil-A, if you go to McDonald's. That's fine. Let's see how we can make sure you're getting in an extra serving of fruit a day, an extra serving of vegetables a day. How can we just add an extra side to dinner? What can we do?
Really help. They really
all of it adds up. It adds up. Little changes, little small changes that you build into a consistent lifestyle. Then we go into the exercise piece. People have such unhealthy relationships with movement and with fitness because it's so fat phobic and it's so centered on getting smaller all the time. So let's talk about what I always ask my clients, tell me one activity that you enjoy doing that just happens to require movement. Yours might be the gym. I love a bench press. Okay. Cardio. I like to run. That's fine. But just think, it can be dancing. It can be gardening. It can be, I just like walking in my neighborhood. I really like looking at birds and nature. Anything you enjoy doing that just happens to require movement. We start there. That's your exercise for right now. That's it.
I like going to the Krispy Kreme.
You say
walk. You like walking out there. You like walking. How far is the walk? Let's do it. Whatever it is, because what we have to do is unlearn and rebuild our fitness and health and health.
907. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Y'all leave the potato chips alone. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with the thighs.
Thighs and them little cute dresses on. They get your attention. I'm telling you.
I'm
Go ahead, sis.
But yeah, we build up those small, healthy habits one by one by one. We break everything down you've been doing, and we start over. And so once you start to establish activities that you just enjoy, and it may be like you get to a point where like, you know what, I really want to push myself. I want to train for a 5K, or I want to do like a mud. Great. Those are beautiful things. I don't discourage them, but I don't like people to start there because usually their interest in those activities is rooted in diet culture and this idea of losing weight. And here's what happens. When you don't lose the weight in the way you want, or you plateau, or you lose the weight, but it's in the wrong place. Then you're all off, and you don't want to do it no more. You're like, F it, like I'm done. And it's like, so we have to go back to our motivations and start from the foundation to build up healthy habits based on health, not on the way I look. And then, your body's going to change as a result, and you need to start to make peace with whatever that looks like. And understanding you can dress your body in a way that makes you feel confident and beautiful, and you don't have to look like the person next to you. The person next to you might be throwing up every day to maintain a flat stomach. And don't get caught up in that.
Or they might have on a waist trainer, fellas. That's what you got to check. They got that Velcro on. It's like hugging a police officer when you hug her. You be like, damn, you undercover with a bulletproof vest on. But that's how they fool you. And men, they got Spanx at Macy's.
They do.
On sale right now. They got a white beater. They got a white beater Spanx. I'm thinking about getting right now. You short out with Krispy Kreme. That place is dangerous. It's the devil.
Yep, it's
It
the
can
devil.
be. It can
And
be.
what does
if you're abusing it.
Ooh, and squeeze fresh lemon on it. Good God from heaven. She
Okay.
was talking about, she said beets, cucumbers,
Oh.
golden and green apples, a mango with an
Oh
orange
yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you talking about juicing that,
Yeah, put a
that's
little
a big
granola on
deal.
top of that too. You can put that in a bowl and eat that.
I'm gonna tell
with
you one of my
little granola.
favorite places. It is called Spoons, and
I like them. Have
you're
you
probably
had them?
familiar with it. Spoons used to be a truck on
Oh,
South
okay.
Boulevard, and now they have brick and mortars. They have one on South Boulevard on is that Remont? Yeah, right there when you turn on.
Oh, it
Remont.
is Remont.
And then they
Yeah.
have one on Trade Uptown, but it's a Asahi. If you know about Asahi.
Oh, yeah, acai. Mhm.
Yeah, and acai
I've been there.
bowls. Go home with a 10, wake up with a 2. Go.
These your people.
Right. You know them is people up there making them comments.
Oh, in a bowl?
Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
yes,
And those acai bowls are great.
Yeah,
and
those
they're all
are nice.
fruit.
Mhm.
And so it can be a meal. Like you can eat that bowl and be full and feel good about what you ate.
Yes, I want one tomorrow.
Let
now
me tell
that
you a
you're
couple of
saying
things for grown men like me. What's your goal? Like what you doing it for?
Mhm.
Really? What you doing it for?
Outside of bodies.
Yeah, longevity should be the key.
Yeah.
Anything that could enhance your physical time here,
Mhm.
that is something that you should be a part of. How you go about it,
Mhm.
that's individualized. That's where
100%.
this young lady
Yes.
comes in. For me, I just want to look good in my clothes. So now here you go. Somebody come up to me who ain't seen me in 2 years. They say, God dang, Tone, every time I see you getting smaller and smaller. But me, I'm saying every time I see me, I'm getting bigger and bigger. So now how we seeing the same thing, but we getting two different compliments. Or
People's
we getting two
perception
different,
is their
are they
reality.
reality?
100%.
Y'all try to be Kim Kardashian, you can't do it. Let me tell you why you can't do it. Go to the ATM tonight and see what your balance say. Because money opens up a different avenue of approach when it comes to your mental about health,
Yeah.
eating. How many of y'all watching tonight can go downstairs and tell your chef right now
To make-
to
yeah.
whip you up something real quick before the kids go to bed?
But Kanye West said Kim does a lot of binging. She's on the bathroom all the time.
Well, we
He
all
was
know
like,
that
she's
because
doing stuff, detoxing, throwing
she
up,
has
using
to
the bathroom. So.
maintain
An image.
a certain.
Exactly.
A lot of y'all trying to keep up with the Joneses off social media. Everybody want to look the same.
Yeah.
Back in the day, females wanted to be different.
Yeah.
The big thing back in the day was, how can I not look like nobody else? How
Right.
can I hold my own? I'm going to catch a man off of the principle of standing out because I don't look like everybody else.
Exactly.
Now, the philosophy has flipped,
Yeah.
and social media is a big push behind
Yeah.
it. Now, I'm going to look
I need that shit.
like everybody else so I can get a man instead of standing out on my
And that's-
own.
Yeah.
That's status quo.
We're going
So,
to the same surgeon.
You,
so
you
that-
Yes,
okay?
everybody going to the
Dr.
same
Miami,
surgeon.
if you can afford it.
But no, even
Because some of y'all flying out to Columbia, and I understand, because let me tell you something. Dr. Miami is Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Columbia is Aldi's.
Right.
So I get it.
Right.
Okay? But let me tell you something. Them BBLs, if you don't work out, if you don't eat right, if you're not putting the right things in your body, that BBL is going to go to hell.
BBL
Okay?
take you to hell.
You're going to go get a BBL, and you're going to come back looking like Kim Kardashian or Megan Thee Stallion. But in about a year, you're going to look like Medea. And we're going to forget all about
About that.
the damn BBL.
Yeah, girl,
All
let's
right?
go on that conversation.
Your breasts going to be
We be
sitting on
saying
your
it.
stomach. And that's what it's going to be. We're going to be like, last year they was sitting up. What happened? Cuz I thought it was a quick fix. So
Shanae-
ain't no quick fix.
Shanae says what? She's
I'm going vegan. Found out I have rheumatoid arthritis and lose weight.
Wait.
Well, baby, you don't have to go vegan.
Right.
Yeah.
You can. There's something on Netflix called What the
The
Health.
Yeah.
Please watch it.
I don't
It's
know.
called
It's gonna
What
scare you.
the
though.
Health.
I was
Don't
gonna
do
say,
that.
you've seen
sis.
it?
It ain't gonna scare you.
I've seen it, and I get it. And
It ain't gonna
She,
scare you.
I don't told you. She don't tell her.
And
patients.
I don't
You can't have
discourage.
it.
I don't discourage vegetarianism or veganism if it works for you.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those documentaries are fear mongering. It's to make you think everything you eat is wrong, and there's nothing you. Because if you listen, there is a school of thought that says you don't need meat. There's a school of thought that says you don't need vegetables grown in the U.S. There's a school of thought that says. So if you listen to everything, you will literally have nothing to eat. There will be no options for you. So I believe very much in blood typing for what works best for your eating. I think certain blood types do better on a vegetarian regimen. They just process fruits and vegetables better. But I think people like myself who are like O blood type need animal protein, and this comes a lot from the naturopathic doctor I work with. We have trouble processing all of the nutrients from fruits and vegetables alone. So it is important to have some animal protein. But again, that's an individual thing. You can work out with your doctor or your naturopath. But yeah, those documentaries will have you not wanting to eat anything because there's so much that could go wrong. You know what I mean? In all of the processes. So I'm not discouraging it, but
and that's why I used to say on the radio, do your research.
Do your research.
You don't let nobody tell you not to do your research. And I love how she said it works best.
What's up, BP?
For you.
Hold on. Black Parker.
I'm going to tell you this
that's big.
right here for me, why it works for me. What the health was information. And information is the new currency. If you don't know, then you can't do. Here's my thing. What you're not going to do is try to convince me that this government is doing things in my best health favor.
That's for sure.
That's what you're not going to do. Number two, you're not going to make me think that they not putting all kinds of shit inside of these animals to make them grow faster. And that's why the female at your school is 12 years old and she got a 34B chest. She got an ass and thighs, and you sitting there talking about, God dang, because everything that they put in that food, I don't care how many times you wash that chicken leg, that steak under that water in that sink, you can't get that stuff out. And they've been telling you all your life, you are what you eat. That ain't no more truer than the United States. And my last angle, for me, and the key word is for me, anything God made is good.
Got to be good for
anything God made
from the earth
helps man. Anything man made can hurt man. You're not going to make me believe that what they frying in the back at the drive-thru is better than what my grandmama used to go make me pick. And them vegetable plates that you grew up on a vegetable plate, black folk, because you wasn't eating meat every day. That was a delicacy. Sunday meal, when you was all around the table, that's when the meat came out. Then you got cute. Now you got that fast food. Now we eating meat every day. Ain't nothing to build up to. Yolanda know she can make me some brown rice, some steamed broccoli, and some cabbage and sit it down. And I'll be like, Mama, you must really be trying to get something special tonight. And all it is brown rice, cabbage, and some broccoli. That's all it is to you. What it is to me is something that I feel good about putting in my body. And in my mind, I think I'm doing something to help me stay around long enough. I always tell Yolanda, because we always talk about, Mama, we're going to go to Costa Rica and live. And I always tell Yolanda, I'd love to. Because there's no rule book that says you have to live your whole life in the United States. There's so much more of this world. You think God made it just with all this world to see for you to stay in the United States. Well, it's the same way with food. I told Yolanda, well, I gave the United States 55 years. Let's go do something new. Well, I gave the chicken 45 years.
I hear you.
Well, I gave the pork 35 years. Let's go do something new. And that's all it is. Variety is the spice of life. Sure. So what I would encourage everybody who is looking, watching, and listening tonight, make sure you get this young lady's information.
Make sure you get her information.
Make sure you get information. And what we're going to do with her in 2023, because she doesn't even know it yet, but it just popped up. So this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to do a health and welfare and body concerned event. But we're going to do it in a relaxed atmosphere where you're not tense to come, you don't feel forced to come, and everybody can live in their truth. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in a no judgment zone. Whenever you're in a no judgment zone, you can speak about anything you want, and ain't nobody in the crowd looking at you funny.
Right. I love
And
it.
we're going to let her
Yeah.
tell you and help you with what it is, with what she does, and we're going to do it on a broad scale so
Yeah.
everybody can catch it at one time. Because my New Year's resolution is for black people to start understanding that just because somebody else did it, and just because they ate it, and just because you came up on it, that does not mean that that's the best blueprint for you. Somebody in your family got to stand up and say, I'm going to rewrite the history from this point on.
Right.
Because the rest of my family been dying off of high blood pressure. And
Right.
Dick Gregory said the top 5 conditions that's killing black folk in the United States can be controlled by proper diet, that's what you eat, proper rest, going to bed, breathing properly. People don't understand how important breathing is. Collecting and developing less stress. Worryation brings on cancer. We talk about that on another show. That's how you could do that. But a lot of us is like, well, you know, it is what it is, and I got this and I got that, but I just got to get me a little piece of this right here. And don't nobody say nothing to Big Mama at the table. You just sit there and let her eat it. But everybody going crazy at the funeral. But you ain't say nothing at the house.
Right.
You couldn't tell at the house that wasn't good for it. But at the funeral, now you're going crazy. The funeral was at the house. That's when y'all should have been talking up. Not the funeral, just be quiet. Let the choir sing and let's go home because there ain't nothing we can do about it. You understand? So y'all need her information. We need people like this in our communities. You need people like this in your lives. This is someone who can hold you accountable that you don't even know, and you can grow into loving people like this because they helped you while you were in a dark place. And for a lot of us, our bodies, that's a dark place. But she can help bring you to the light. Don't come over to my program. Damn it, you won't be eating 3 hours a day. So there ain't no need for you to come. You don't need to come over here.
Right. And so with that, Lisa, we want to make sure that you give them the information for Healthy Fit. Because before we get you off the show, we got to talk about another spectacular thing that this
yes,
woman
we
is
do.
involved in. But give them the information for Healthy Fit. We had several people on the line who are still there now. If they want to reach out to you and talk about this. And this service is for men and women.
Yes.
So men, you also can reach out to Lisa as well and talk about your life and your weight and get out of that stress-free environment of feeling like you have to fit into a box.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I live on Instagram, so you can reach me there. That's my social media of choice. So I'm at Healthy Fit. It's HealthyPhit. So follow me on Instagram. I do have a Facebook page as well. My website is www.healthyfit.com. You can go on there and sign up for a discovery call, just a free 15-minute chat where we can kind of talk through your needs and see if I'm a good fit to help you or not. So.
That's positive. That is very positive. Is your husband a super duper healthy kind of thinking, moving with it kind of guy? Is he just going with emotion? What works for me?
So no, he's a health conscious person.
My dude.
Yes, he has not come over to the other side of like more weight. Well, he is. He's leaning in the direction of the more weight neutral, anti-diet approach. But he's a very active person. He's at the gym 5 to 7 days a week. So he's very consistent. He actually is, for the last year, has been a vegetarian, which makes him have to cook a lot of food on his own because I am not a vegetarian.
Right.
But no, yeah, he definitely values his health and makes it a priority for sure.
Okay, listen, both of you are involved in something beautiful and incredible.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to let Dr. Lisa is also the marketing director for No Women Charlotte. So please let everyone know what that is.
Yeah, so the No Women is an organization of high-achieving women. We are literally across North America.
Nice.
I direct the market here in Charlotte, but it's women who are CEOs and business owners, entrepreneurs, high-ranking executives in their companies. You know, they're doing amazing things, and the organization is about us lifting and supporting one another and celebrating one another because we do a lot.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes.
we don't always get the recognition we deserve.
Right.
So the Know Women is about bringing these women to the forefront, highlighting and spotlighting them. And Miss Yolanda, she is one of our beautiful featurees. We release a book every fall. It's The Know Women. That's KNOW. The Know Women, and it's Know Charlotte. This is volume 4. We've had some dynamic women. Go to the website, theknowwomen.com, and you can look at all of our previous issues and see some of the powerhouses that have been in our books. But we're releasing volume 4 this coming Tuesday. We're going to be at Bazaar Art Gallery nightclub in the Music Factory from 6:30 to 9. You can register. The tickets are free. We are setting it out for Charlotte, but we're going to be highlighting all of the beautiful women in this area who are doing miraculously amazing things. You'll see the books for the first time. All of our featurees will get their copy. Girl, I seen your picture. Ooh,
I can't wait.
I got a sneak peek of everybody. I was like, y'all are gorgeous. So, like, we're beautiful, we're intelligent, we're hardworking, we're dynamic, we wear 10,000 hats, and we're like doing it in the community. I mean, there's so many amazing. You referred a woman.
I did.
Miss Tia.
Miss Tia Water Brown, honey. She is fire.
I was at her photo shoot. I was like, oh. She brought it, okay?
She is on fire,
on fire. So we have some amazing women. I don't want to tell too much because I really want it to be a surprise. But yeah, Charlotte, come out and support. Again, it's at Bazaar Art Gallery. You can go to the knowwomen.com website and actually click on events, and it's on there. You can register for free.
And it's for men and women.
For men and women. It's co-ed. Yeah, we want the men to be able to celebrate these beautiful, amazing women. So yeah, I'm super excited. I love the Know Women. It's a membership. It's also a book we will be running our Women to Know and Do Business with in North Carolina. That's our hardcover state book that comes out in the spring. So if you're interested, reach out to me. There's applications. We vet you, of course, and make sure you're doing some things.
Right.
You gotta be doing
some things.
Come on, man. You can't mess this up.
Not for everybody, but it's a great way to highlight women in the community and support one another and be there for one another and just shine a light on some of the amazingness. You know, I've met some phenomenal women. I just feel blessed to be in the presence. I'm like, look at this. So it's a really, really great organization that I'm very proud to be a part of.
I want to thank you for shining the light on Black women in a enormous, gigantic, powerful way. Because the light is shown on Black women in this country, but a lot of times it's not as bright as it should be. It's shown on them, but it's more of a dimmer than a brightening or bigger. And so what you're doing is a big deal, and I definitely want to thank you personally for having Yolanda a part of what you're doing, because she is all of that your magazine stands for and more. And so I couldn't be more proud that she is a part of your magazine. I can't wait until next week when it goes down.
Next Tuesday,
It's gonna
December
be a beautiful
6th.
thing. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And keep putting Black women on the map. And ladies, I told you, I would highly suggest, you remember when I said that? That you get her information so that you could talk to her. There's more layers to this doctor. You should have known she was going to be on point because she's wearing my favorite color. And when anybody come in here in blue, you should know what it's going to be. You should know. Okay? So, once again, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest tonight, because I know we got a lot out of. And you're going to have to come back, because an hour, we take on an hour with you.
We got to do that event. We got to really do that body conscious event. So
we're going to do that event, but we got to get her back on the podcast with the afro.
Oh, I love it. Look,
I always
come
have
back with
the
the
afro.
afro. Next time I'm going to put a pick in the back with the fist on the back of the pick. I'm going to sit it right there the whole podcast and tell her don't take it out. Don't you take that out.
So again, you all please go follow Dr. Lisa at Healthy Fit, which is on IG, and you can also go to theknowwomen.com in order to get your tickets for December the 6th. Or if you are a female, if you're a lady out there and you would love to be featured or represented in this magazine, there's an application. You just go to the website, you get all the information, and go ahead and get your vetting process started so you can be in the magazine. Yes.
Is this a magazine just for black women?
It is not. It's actually all women.
Okay.
But I want to be very clear, as a black woman in Charlotte, because of the dynamic women I have interacted with,
Right.
so many of them being black, it was very important to me. And to our CEO, Sarah Bankers. She's a white woman, but it's also very important to her that, especially in this city where black women are very much present and very much dominating, that they be represented. So our North Carolina book is 50% women of color, and our Charlotte book, I believe, is beyond 50% women of color.
All right, Sarah.
I love it. Thank
Get
you,
it
Sarah.
together before Tuesday, Sarah.
I know.
Coming up in there,
Is
boy.
she gonna be there on?
She is. She's
Looking
flying
for-
in from Phoenix.
Awesome.
Yes.
Looking forward to meeting
flying
you
in from
on
where?
Saturday.
Phoenix, Arizona,
On
yeah.
Tuesday.
A Sarah. You coming from Phoenix? A Sarah.
Yeah, she is.
Hey,
she's
Sarah.
She's a North Carolinian. She's from Raleigh originally, but she lives out there. She'll be
Sarah,
there.
put it in that carry-on, Sarah.
Look.
Boy, you in
Right.
Phoenix.
It's
Come on,
free.
Sarah. Stop. Sarah.
It's legal out there, Sarah.
I gotta
Won't
sit
you
there
smile a while for me, Sarah? Sarah, put it in the take-on.
I want you to
Don't
make
you check
sure.
it in. Put it on. I'm
You
trying
meet Sarah on Tuesday.
Shout
too.
out to Sarah Beacon.
Well, I mean, Sarah, too. The first thing I'm
Sarah
going to say is,
Beacon Fauci. She got married.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm going to say, hey, Sarah, put it in your sock. You can put it in the sock. And you can all right, never mind. So we had a great night tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
They ganged up on me, but I didn't mind because I was getting great information. Starting tomorrow, you'll see me in all black until the new year. There's no need for you to ask why. There's no need for you to, when they be like, why Tone got on a black hoodie? I told you what I was doing until I get myself together.
Well, you
when
can
I
go
look in
see
the
Dr.
mirror.
Lisa. She can make you feel good about it. That way you
She
can
already
wear
said
your
you got to be
colors.
naked. I already got a problem with that. I already got a problem
She
with
just said
that.
you gotta get
She
naked
said you got to
in
get
front of
naked.
her.
Huh?
Not with me.
Okay, all right then.
With yourself.
Oh, all right. I thought she said
Not with
people
me.
have a problem getting naked in front of her. I ain't ready for that stuff.
No. In your mirror at home.
Oh,
by
Okay then.
yourself.
All right, I ain't
By
ready.
yourself. It'll be some problems with Dr. Lisa
I ain't
husband.
ready.
Oh, yeah,
If she got
and your wife.
like her and me. If she got folks getting
If
naked.
Dr. Lisa's husband look at this love seat, he ain't gonna say nothing about me. All right?
I
You
do
gonna
not
say who?
have patients in my office naked.
You-
Right.
You do that at home by
Yeah.
yourself.
I'll be in there looking like a sweet potato.
Oh my God.
All right. Thanks again for joining.
Thank
we won't be
you.
here next Tuesday because we will be at the No Women Magazine launch, which I am being featured in. Make sure you go get your tickets
Yes.
before it goes off because you said reservations are going fast,
Yes,
right?
yeah. We
Yes.
are almost at capacity.
So it's almost at capacity. You better go to thenowwomen.com
Yes.
to get your tickets.
Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow me at ToneX Comedy. Make sure you follow
Me
Yolanda.
at Y2_Yolanda.
Make sure you go to grownfitwear.com. New flavors,
New flavor.
new styles.
Yes.
You definitely want to get you some. All right. Make sure that you get you some and represent with some of that Grown Fit. Make sure you go to Grown TV Network and check out what's going on over there. And inshallah, we will see you in
A week
2
in-
weeks.
In 2 weeks, yes. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We out now.
Yeah.
We riding on some grown man knees. We step into some grown man knees. Conversation on some grown man knees. Put your hands up on some grown man knees. We puffing on some grown man knees. We sipping on some grown man knees. We vibing on some grown man knees. We loving on some grown man knees. I know, you know that you're down with